This past weekend, the Disneyland Resort opened the newly completed Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout makeover of the attraction formerly known as Tower of Terror, and it left quite an impression on this fresh baked muffin. Hello guys, welcome back to Fresh Baked. Before we get on with our review, please take a moment to like this video and to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. So on Thursday, Disneyland held their press premiere. Friday, we had the $150 exclusive party for the actual opening of the attraction, complete with Imagineer panel and meet and greets, character meet and greets. And then on Saturday morning at 8 a.m., the attraction was open to the public. We didn't get to go to the press event on Thursday, and we decided to skip the $150 event because $150. But we did do something that Fresh Baked has never really done before, and that's attend one of these manic openings for an attraction. We showed up at the park at 6 a.m. to brave the masses for what was sure to be a very well-attended event. Normally we tend to skip these kind of things because, Fresh Baked's idea of going to the park is a more laid-back experience, but I felt like we needed to be there. I wanted to experience what it was like to attend one of these openings and see the crowds and feel the excitement. And I'll tell you what, I'm so glad that we did. And since this is a review, let's get on with our thoughts. And I'll begin with this. At first, we thought this was just a makeover, a reskin of an old attraction. And while it is that, what we found is that it is actually quite a bit more than just that. It's quite a bit more than just a reskin of an old attraction. I have to confess that even as I prepared this review, I was still feeling high from all the excitement and positive energy that we were feeling from that morning. And I even alluded to that during the live stream when it was just exciting being there that morning. And it added a lot of positivity to the experience. And positive our experience was, I really, really enjoyed the new Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. I enjoyed the building, I enjoyed the queue, the pre-show, and the ride itself. I enjoyed it all. Now, you'll remember about a month ago, I was not too thrilled with the way the building was looking, the outside, the building itself. I was not thrilled with how it was looking. Then a couple weeks ago, I started to come around. I was starting to get used to it. I was starting to sort of enjoy it a little bit. All that is gone now. Any negativity I felt is gone. I'm absolutely in love with Guardians of the Galaxy. And perhaps even more importantly, we got to see how the attraction fits in with a larger Marvel presence with the Summer of Heroes going on at the same time. We got to see a complete sort of 360 thing going on with all of the different events that were happening around the attraction. As for Mission Breakout, I can see the future now of how this will fit in, and the future looks good to me. We'll start with the interior queue, which was great. The only problem, I think, was that we didn't get to spend enough time in there. I would have loved to have been able to sort of walk around and take a look at all the artifacts. We didn't get to see any of the video, which I have seen online a little bit, and it is pretty good. But I would have liked to have kind of hung around a bit. It's kind of like Indiana Jones in that way that, if you go to the Fast Pass, you skip all that exterior queue stuff, which is great. And in this case, it's the same way. The interior queue, the lobby, as it were, was quite a bit of fun. Lots of Easter eggs, lots of things to look at. I just wish we could have spent more time, but both times we rode, we got whisked right on through. And speaking of the lobby, I must confess that I was never actually a very big fan of Tower of Terror. I like the lobby itself, the Tower of Terror lobby, with the couch and the creepy doll and all that stuff. And I like the actual ride, the drops and all that stuff. But the story and some of the other parts of the Tower of Terror attraction, I was not a big fan of. I did not like, for example, the pre-show with the Rod Serling Twilight Zone video that played on the television screen. In fact, I'm not a fan of any attraction that depends on a video to sort of kick off your show, which is why I loved the pre-show. When you go into the collector's office. And it starts off with a video, and I'm like, oh God, I hate videos, with the collector talking about, meeting the Guardians of the Galaxy. But then Rocket comes in and preempts that show, and he does an amazing job of basically being the host, the MC of our adventure. More importantly, I love that Rocket was an animatronic. It wasn't just him preempting the TV show. It was him coming out as an animatronic and interacting with us in a real physical way that really sells the experience way more than any video ever could. The interior queue with the boiler room didn't change a whole lot, but there is still plenty of things to look at if, again, you have a moment to walk around and examine. There are Easter eggs everywhere, including Harold the Yeti. But, you know, it's kind of the same, but that's okay. I don't really expect much from this part of the queue anyway. Once on board the gantry lift and the doors close, we get to see Rocket again. This time it's just his shadow. And when you see his shadow unplug the power, I guess, whatever he's doing, bypassing the main power and then replugging it in, it kicks off, it announces to you that now Rocket is in charge, he's taking over, and we're about to go on an amazing adventure. And that's helped incredibly, again, by the music. The music changes everything. It changes the energy level, it changes the excitement, it changes the pace. It makes the whole thing more alive. And that's the thing that I thought was missing from Tower of Terror, actually, was that it was kind of I guess it's supposed to be spooky, but for me, it dulled the experience. This experience was just 11, okay? That's the only way I can explain it. It was like being on 11 the whole time. Now, in between, we get to see more projections. There were no projections in Tower of Terror. Today, we got projections with Guardians of the Galaxy characters, and I thought it was great. I thought the projections were good. If only, again, I would have liked to have hung out there for maybe just a beat longer, but that's just a minor thing. But, you know, all in all, I thought the projections looked great. They felt good, and they were fun. And I'll say this, using the original cast and voices for the attraction is a major coup for Disney. It totally helped to sell the experience. And kudos to Chris Pratt and company for lending their talents and going the extra mile for this attraction, because it makes all the difference in the world. In fact, I think there would have been a major revolt from the anti-Guardians camp if they had used other actors or other voices for the attraction, because it makes all the difference in the world to seeing the actual cast participate in this attraction. And by the way, I should mention the drop sequences. People are probably going to ask about that. Have they been randomized? Are they different from Tower of Terror? 100% they are randomized. 100% they are different. Different to the point where it's not really about randomization. You are constantly going up and down. There isn't, Tower of Terror had basically 3 drops. In Mission Breakout, you are constantly going up and down. A little bit, a lot, a little bit, a lot kind of thing. It is a very, very random experience. Now, speaking of the aforementioned anti-Guardians camp out there, which there are many of you, and you are vocal, I'm hearing actually a lot of positive things from people who weren't enjoying this idea originally. Even Mice Chat liked it, which is saying a lot if you ask me. On its own, Mission Breakout is a highly enjoyable success, but it's also a success, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of how it might fit into a larger Marvel theme to the entire backlot or to all of Hollywoodland. And this actually speaks to one of the other arguments that the anti-Guardians camp had, and that is, how does this attraction fit in with Hollywoodland, with 1920s Hollywood? But if I learned anything from what we saw on Saturday, it's just a matter of time before that situation corrects itself. Seeing Guardians as part of a larger Summer of Heroes event that was going on at the time gives us a peek as to how they can connect the Guardians Tower with the backlot in Hollywoodland. And it's not entirely unconvincing. There are roadblocks, to be sure. There's the Hyperion Theater and the red car trolley, but I believe that those things can be overcome with just a little bit of imagination. In the meantime, we've been given a beta test, if you will, on what a Marvel Land might look like, and it looks pretty fun. And Mission Breakout is absolutely fun. It's absolutely a fun ride, and I encourage everyone to give it a try at least, and to let go of whatever anti-Guardians feelings you might have had. But I do want to hear from you, Fresh Baked. I want to hear your opinions. Hopefully by now you've at least seen the video, or maybe you've had a chance to write it yourself. What did you think? Did you enjoy Mission Breakout? Are you getting on board with the Guardians of the Galaxy theme or the Marvel theme in general for Hollywoodland? Or do you still kind of pine for the previous theming of 1920s Hollywood? I want to know from you. Let us know in the comments below, Fresh Baked. And until next time, we'll see you guys. Fresh Baked!